Having just tested the RX 7900M at 4K resolution hooked up with HDMI 2.1 to an external display, we've just demonstrated in an earlier video that we're able to hit some very high power levels, about 190 watts, 190 plus watts in a few games. So this is a very promising GPU. But in this case here, featured in the Alienware M18R1 that I've got only a 480 Hz 1080p display, or rather a 1200p display at 16 by 10 resolution, 1920 by 1200 to be exact. So I've done here a few benchmarks at the native resolution of the display panel to show off what we've got. And first, starting with Assassin's Creed Mirage, we've got an excellent average frame rate with FSR2 quality turned on, but those 1% lows cannot maintain a 60 plus FPS frame rate to make sure that we get an excellent smooth gameplay. Borderlands 3, it's a much better story. We've got excellent 1% lows, which means you're going to have a very smooth experience on badass, everything cranked in this game, and it's just a lovely time to play through it. 168 FPS. Cyberpunk 2077, it's a different story. Again, we cannot maintain that 60 FPS 1% low, but the average frame rates are excellent at 1200p with FSR2 quality turned on overdrive mode. We are able to get 133 FPS. Keep in mind, RT was not done because RT testing really tanks the frame rate. And then as we move along to Doom Eternal, we've got a almost 60 FPS on the Ultra Nightmare preset with ray tracing turned off and 77 frames per second on the average frame rate. Not a bad performer. Far Cry 6 turns the table a little bit. We've got 45 FPS on the low, so not quite that 60 we want to see everywhere, but 100 frames per second average means you're going to get very smooth gameplay with all of those goodies and those visual effects turned on. It's going to be an excellent time. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a redeemer for this GPU. We got 90 on that 1% low, so excellent performance, 123 frames per second, everything cranked to ultra, and FSR turned on to quality mode with the Vulkan API, 123 frames per second average. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, again, this one surprised me a little bit. We're on the highest settings with Fidelity FX and RT shadows turned on. We've got 43 FPS, but 114 average. The gameplay looked very smooth. The benchmark did not have any stutters, so despite that, you can have an excellent experience. Then we move on to the story here, which is Starfield, 99 frames per second on average, and you're seeing some gameplay here in the background there, and 38% or 38 FPS for the 1% low average. FSR2 turned on. I think this game needs a little bit more tuning to be really polished. The Witcher 3, it's gone through a lot of different updates with all of the texture packs, FSR support, DLSS support, RT Ultra. We're hitting 68 FPS average, but we still can't hit that 1% low of 60 FPS. Despite that, a very good playable experience if you turn down some of the RT goodies there. And Watch Dogs Legion, we've got 25 frames per second on the low, but keep in mind this is Ultra and RT Ultra turned on in overdrive mode, 63 FPS average. So what we're demonstrating here is that this RX 7900M is an excellent performer as long as you leave the RT off. Despite having all of the latest goodies from AMD and being the latest GPU in their stack, the top performer, basically the top end of their stack for 2023 for mobile GPUs, it still lags behind NVIDIA in terms of RT horsepower. So if you're looking to play your favorite games with ray tracing turned on, you're going to be skipping this one. Instead, you should be looking at a 4080 or perhaps even a 4090 if you want that ray tracing goodness. But if you are able to forego that, if you see that the visual fidelity is not a big deal for you, if you play fast performing games, then it's going to be an excellent time. If you take off the RT there, which I've shown a mix of RT and non-RT games, you'll see that we can hit excellent triple digit frame rates at the 1200p resolution. And sadly, I did not get the Quad HD resolution at the time of launch. I wanted to get this in my hands as soon as possible. So Dell's website being what it is, I was not able to acquire the Quad HD resolution panel. At some point, I'll maybe doing an extra video here to cover just hooked up to an external display to somewhat show off what QHD resolution performance would look like in this game, again with a mix of RT and non-RT games that I've shown off here. But stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this short, quick video. Leave me a comment below. What do you think of this performance? Is this acceptable in 2023 going into 2024 at only 1200p? We can't even maintain 1% lows at 60 plus FPS in some of the games, especially when RT was turned on. So are you a fan of RT? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks very much for watching. Please get subscribed and stay tuned to this channel for additional content coming real soon on the RX 7900M as well as others. And at that note, on that death, I will see myself out here. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video.